The locked room in my grandmother's house. The day my grandmother died, everyone in my family fought over what she left behind. Not because she was rich. Because of one room. A room nobody had ever entered. A room that had remained locked for over 40 years. And according to my grandmother's final handwritten note, only I was allowed to open it. At first, I thought it was some strange final wish. A family tradition. Maybe a collection of old photographs. But when I finally unlocked that door, I found something that completely changed everything I believed about my family. And the worst part? My grandmother had spent decades trying to hide it. The house of secrets. My name is Daniel. 3 years ago, I received a phone call that changed my life. My grandmother, Eleanor, had died peacefully in her sleep at 86. The news wasn't exactly unexpected. She had been sick for months. Still, hearing those words felt like losing the last connection to my childhood. Grandma Eleanor lived alone in a huge Victorian house on the outskirts of town. The house had belonged to our family for generations. Every Christmas, every birthday, every family gathering, everything happened there. And throughout my entire childhood, there was one rule nobody ever questioned. Never go near the locked room. The room was located at the end of the second floor hallway. A heavy wooden door. Old brass lock. No windows. No explanation. Whenever any of us asked about it, Grandma would smile and say the same thing. Some doors are locked for a reason. As kids, my cousins and I invented dozens of theories. Hidden treasure. A murder room. Secret tunnels. Government documents. We tried peeking through keyholes. There was nothing to see. The mystery only grew stronger with time. Then one day, when I was 12, I accidentally touched the doorknob. Grandma appeared out of nowhere. I had never seen fear in her eyes before. But that day, she looked terrified. Never touch that door again, she whispered. I never forgot the way she said it. Not angry. Not strict. Afraid. And that terrified me. The letter. After the funeral, the family gathered in the living room while the attorney read Grandma's final instructions. The atmosphere felt tense. My uncles were already arguing about property. My cousins whispered about inheritance. Then the attorney cleared his throat. There is a personal letter addressed specifically to Daniel. Every eye turned toward me. I unfolded the envelope. Inside was a single handwritten page. My grandmother's handwriting trembled across the paper. Daniel, if you are reading this, I am gone. The key is hidden beneath the grandfather clock. You must open the locked room alone. Tell nobody what you find until you understand the truth. Trust no one's version of our family history, especially not your Uncle Richard's. Love, Grandma Eleanor. The room suddenly felt colder. Across the living room, Uncle Richard stared directly at me. His expression changed the moment the attorney read his name. For a split second, he looked frightened. Then he smiled. Too quickly. Too artificially. Something wasn't right. And for the first time in my life, I wondered whether the locked room contained something much bigger than family memories. The first clue. That night, after everyone left, I stayed behind. The old house creaked around me. Rain tapped against the windows. I walked to the grandfather, our clock. My hand shook as I reached underneath. There it was. A small brass key. Exactly where Grandma said it would be. I climbed the staircase. Every step echoed. The hallway seemed longer than I remembered. At the end stood the door, waiting. 40 years of mystery separated by one key. I inserted it. The lock clicked. The sound felt impossibly loud. Slowly, I pushed the door open. Dust filled the air. Moonlight spilled across the floor. The room wasn't what I expected. No treasure. No hidden fortune. Instead, it looked like someone had frozen time. A desk. Shelves. Boxes. Photographs. Documents. And on the far wall hung a portrait of a young man I had never seen before. Yet somehow he looked familiar. Very familiar. Beneath the portrait sat a plaque. The name made my stomach drop. Michael Harper. The same last name as me. Who was he? And why had nobody ever mentioned him? Then I noticed something else. Every photograph inside the room had one thing in common. The same young man appeared in all of them. Smiling. Laughing. Standing beside my grandmother. Like he had once been the center of her entire world. First major twist.